Hello, everyone. We are living in a different time zone, and it's 8 o'clock here in the Philippines. So, good evening, Philippines. Good morning and good afternoon to other parts of the world. Welcome to the IGP's 196th International Webinar. Thanks for joining with us in this wonderful evening. And to all participants, I am your host, Mr. Rianjun P. Qualing from Aklan, Philippines. Presently, I am a mathematics teacher at Batan Academy, a senior high school department in the Department of Education, Division of Aklan, Philippines. I am proud to be associated with IGP as an active global member, and I feel honored and privileged to be one of the hosts in the IGP webinars. It is my delight to welcome you all in our institution of Global Professionals Free International Webinar. I hope everyone will have the enthusiasm to participate and energy to stay with us until the end of this endeavor because we are about to get something significant from our webinar tonight. To show support to our organization, please like and comment while our webinar is going on. You may tag, share, and mention your friends in the comment section so that we can watch together and learn together. We believe that power is gained by sharing knowledge. If the COVID 19 is transmitted so fast, may this knowledge also be spread to each one of us, especially to our participants. So, for the new members, let me give some basic concepts about IGP. IGP stands for Institute of Global Professionals, and it is an ISO certified training and education institute. It is recognized internationally and globally, accredited to more than 100 countries. IGP is a leading online skill development institute with thousands of learners worldwide. IGP serves the world communities by providing holistic social work in the education to create a proficient generation. IGP gives opportunities accessible for every knowledge seeker to gain mastery of skills, to develop personality, to become more goal oriented, to strengthen confidence in facing any circumstances in life, and to enhance skills by inviting great speakers and professionals from other parts of the world. The organization believes that developing one's skills does not just rely on acquiring it from the formal education. So, it provides effective training and consultation to generate proficient generation all over the world. It organizes webinars, trainings, both offline and online courses with the best and highly trained speakers and coaches from all corners of the world to create a best learning platform for all of us, dear participants. So today, we are presenting the 196th international webinar entitled The Value of Enterprise and Entrepreneurship Education. And we will be enlightened by our speakers coming from two different countries, which will be introduced later on as they deliver their speeches and lectures. And now I think it's time to start our program. Let us first introduce our first speaker. Our first speaker is a founder of Elegance Wellness Boutique, an organization on a mission of building healthy communities across South Africa and beyond through holistic health and wellness programs. She is an entrepreneur, a healthy lifestyle coach, a marketing strategist, a motivational speaker, a multimedia contributor, a freelance writer, and is often called upon to share her wisdom across various media platforms. A registered dietitian and a fitness instructor, she presents healthy lifestyle talks or boot camps on various platforms and contributes regularly on several national and community radio programs. She is also a national director for the International Youth Society in South Africa. She is also a member of the Commonwealth Entrepreneurs Club, Black Management Forum, and World Public Health Nutrition Association. She has also served her country in the military as an officer in the South African Medical Services. Her contribution as a humanitarian and philanthropist has seen her travel across South Africa, empowering families to work together to prevent obesity and lifestyle diseases in order to raise children who are healthy, well balanced, and productive to reach their full potential. She has often been called upon to conduct programs and motivational talks at schools, youth camps, women's gatherings, and family lifestyles, encouraging them to live healthy and reach their full potential. Her recent contribution has seen her appear on various media platforms, empowering families across the globe and educating them on healthy living during the current coronavirus pandemic. Her primary focus has been on women, being the driving force of the healthy lifestyle journey for many families, and has heeded the call of women, mainly fuller figured women, by creating a range of gym wear to enable women to embark on their health journey with confidence. She has also been a lifestyle coach for the Mrs. India South Africa pageant and is the Mrs. Uniworld South Africa's second princess, Mrs. Fitness, Mrs. Intellect, and Businesswomen of the Year 2019. One of her highlights is that she has been honored by the Nelson Mandela Foundation as the part of their 2020 Women's Month celebration of women who are, to be acknowledged, alive and are making a meaningful impact in society. Her recent highlight is being awarded the honorary doctorate in humanitarianism by the Global International Alliance Advocate University. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Ella Ford Mitathwa. Hello, Mom. Mom Ella.
Can you
Dr.
see my
Ella Ford.
presentation?
Yes, ma'am. Not yet,
Great.
but okay. Yeah, it's already there.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for that wonderful welcome. Just listening to it was quite refreshing. Um, we don't, as humanitarians and philanthropists, we don't do it for the accolades, but we do it to impact and to change lives. But it's good to hear the kind of work that is done as a form of inspiration to others. So today I was very honored and privileged to be given the opportunity to share in terms of my experiences and what I've learned in the corporate and in the enterprise space as an entrepreneur myself. And the topic being aptly named the value of enterprise and entrepreneurship education. And as we well know, when it comes to education, it's not just about the formal knowledge transfer, but the education that we get from lifelong learning, which is what I'd like for us, which is the key message that I'd like to bring across in today's presentation. Then just in terms of the flow of the presentation, the agenda is very simple. It's going to be definitions. I'll be talking about the task at hand, from a broader point of view. I'll take you through my journey, which has been very, very interesting. As you've seen, I've also been in the military. I've been in the officer in the military, and that alone has certain types of principles that have helped to send a good foundation for me as an entrepreneur. And then I'll go quickly touch on the output and what the output is, and then what the way forward is, given that we are now living in different times, and it's very important for us and for us to teach the principles of evolving as an entrepreneur in current times and in times ahead. Simple, we start off with definitions for those who don't know what an enterprise is. It's a company or a business. Entrepreneur is a person who makes money by starting or running businesses, especially when this involves taking financial risks. But as individuals, academics, and entrepreneurs, we know that the definition goes far beyond that. And that's what I'm going to illustrate today. So what is the task at hand? What are the current challenges that we have? One of the elements or one of the areas that were not mentioned in my biography was the fact that I'm very much involved with students at university level. I'm involved with youth in youth camps, in schools, but very much recently in the last few years at university. Because what we found is that whilst formal education is well and good, and it's a very good place to get a good foundation in terms of the theory, there's been a very big gap that's been found in terms of translating that into practice. And that's why in South Africa, for instance, when one looks at the unemployment line and one looks at the unemployment rates, one finds that a high number of graduates still haven't managed to find jobs, because that's the type of mindsets that has been inculcated into their minds in terms of going to universities and empowering themselves in terms of formal education to be hired by someone else. And my role in these career days that I've been participating in at these various universities is to change that mindset from just merely job seeking to inculcating a sort of an entrepreneurial spirit, whereby individuals and these students strive to become job creators themselves. And in that way, they are able to make a meaningful, play a meaningful part in our country's economy and into the world. So driving economic growth. So the task is really, really, really a big one. And one of the importance, and why is it so important for us to change this mindset? It's very, very important because it's important for us to be able to teach and to mentor and to coach entrepreneurs so that they become so resilient that they're able to unlock their potential, the potential of their businesses in an evolving world. For example, I can use myself an example whereby I was one morning in July, I was woken up by a phone call, and with these images of burning, of businesses being destroyed and burned. And that very building that you see on the screen right now is a building in which my business was housed. The Elegance Wellness Boutique was housed in that building, and it was burned to the ground. And had it not been for my resilience and not coming from an era where of not just only formal education, but an era with inculcated resilience, I would have been destroyed and distraught myself. And this is what we're trying to, in terms of entrepreneurial education, this is the kind of spirit that we're trying to forge, a spirit of resilience beyond businesses being destroyed and brought to the ground, beyond a global pandemic. And in fact, going beyond that and finding opportunities amongst this gloom, in this gloom and doom, finding opportunities and building businesses that can strive beyond this. And there are various examples that I can give where you find that in the South African culture, there's a spirit of the hustler in a positive way, because the word hustle can sometimes be seen in a negative way. In South Africa, we say that the hustle is real. And that means that, and the hustle means working hard and getting money by any means. The hustle can also be a job or something that makes you money, but it's also also shows and encapsulates a manner, a way, a thinking whereby one is able to push and someone is resilient, someone is able to work rapidly and energetically against the odds. So it's about finding market opportunities amidst the darkness, taking those market opportunities, developing them into ideas that work, putting them into an operating model that you believe works, and then making an impact. Not only a financial impact in terms of profit, but also making an impact in terms of society. And one such example is a young man who started an enterprise called Batu, which means shoes, and it's a truly South African sneaker brand, and it comes from a true consumer insight. And there are many of such brands that have come out of this element of darkness. The one sneaker brand was brought about because this young gentleman started repairing people's sneakers, and he found that the uniqueness and the customization of these sneakers, there was a need for this, because people wanted a way of self-expression through sneakers, and it's now become a multi-million rand business for him, because he saw the opportunity and developed it into an idea in the midst of this. And he's in that way, he's reignited hope amongst other youngsters, and he's created jobs. He himself had said that he's looking at creating about 100 jobs, but it's become more than that. It's gone beyond that. He's created almost 25 stores now. Another very quick example is a young lady called Dr. Daksha Ramjawan, a trailblazer in South Africa, who's also seen a need and has championed a need amongst the youth, amongst young women who without the product that she's offered, it otherwise would not have been able to go to schools. And that's what it is. It's about the youth, mentoring and coaching youth and inspiring youth through developing ideas that work and make an impact in society. Then a little bit about my journey, because what I love about this platform is that we are very much encouraged to share our journeys and what it is that has made my journey worthwhile as an entrepreneur. What have been the guiding principles? The first one is that I've had a solid foundation, not the fact that I'm a twin, but the fact that the formal education that I have, yes. Do I have a basic degree? Yes, I have a few degrees. I have a science degree. I have postgraduate degrees. I have postgraduate diplomas, and I have a master's degree, business degrees, and the likes, and so on and so on. But as we know now that formal education doesn't work alone. It's very much supported by observations from seasoned informal traders, and that started at a very young age, from the young woman who was almost forced by poverty to start a fruit and vegetable business, to make sure that her children are fed, her children are well educated, to the store owner who started a business because he came from an entrepreneurial family, and he had a very strong conviction in terms of developing the economy, the unknown, the hidden economy, the informal economy in the townships, which is worth more than a billion rand, which what people don't fundamentally see per se with the naked eye, but it's out there. So learning those principles from those informal traders formed a very solid foundation for me. Then having a very strong value set. And as mentioned earlier, I was in the military, and we understand and we know now that when it comes to entrepreneurship, it's very important to have the various values such as a discipline. You need consistency, and that's learned through foundations such as where you were educated, the kind of people that you do business with, and obviously in terms of your history. And with me being an officer in the military, that instilled a very strong value set because that works for you in a business. And in terms of even selecting the kind of people that one works with as an entrepreneur, people with good values, people who are out there who don't go for shortcuts, people who believe in smart work, hard work, and people who believe in uplifting their communities as well. Then consistent support. Consistent support in terms of entrepreneurship is very, very important. And what I've found is that the biggest issue amongst young entrepreneurs and startups is that they don't know where to find help. And some don't know how to ask for help. So as mentors and coaches, this has I found in terms of educational entrepreneurship education has been very, very helpful to ensure that the young startups know where to go. Educational institutions such as the ones that I'm involved with are very, very good. They have counselors. The community, you find mentors in the community. In terms of the Nelson Mandela Day, there were quite a number of initiatives where it was not just about giving back in terms of hardcore food and blankets and the likes, but in terms of sharing services and experience. And you found that professionals, high-level professionals, leaders in corporate gave of their time. They gave 67 minutes to budding entrepreneurs just to share. So those types of communities, corporate is very much involved in terms of support. Governments, the various government entities, NGOs, financial institutions, as well as various global entities, such as this platform, are very much involved in terms of supporting young entrepreneurs and being involved in entrepreneurship education. Then leveraging off corporate. Various corporates, as I mentioned earlier, are very much involved and engaged in terms of supporting entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, up and coming entrepreneurs in terms of finances and in terms of services, but also leveraging in terms of experience, because that's where as an entrepreneur, one learns the importance of consumer centricity, the importance of customer centricity, the importance of valuing your assets, such as the employees of your organization, especially during tough times as these, making sure that they are okay in terms of health and wellness so that they can deliver, so that they can live longer and be happier and they can actually deliver. Just leveraging off corporates as well in terms of just governance, in terms of financials, marketing, and the rest. And then for me, what has really worked as an entrepreneur is being able to turn a passion to become a business, to become a profitable business at that. Taking my experience as a dietitian and adding a dose of passion, adding purpose, and making an impact. And what was it about? It's about taking, as I said, a passion, which I really first started, and building it into this little empire, which I call the Elegance Wellness Boutique. And it was very much about building the brand and building a presence out there so that people can actually see value in the enterprise and the business. And the first element that I was clear on was the clarity in terms of the guiding principles of my enterprise. And it was very much in terms of my beliefs, which is also very religious. And my beliefs really are really about the fact that the body is the temple. And that's from a biblical point of view. People from various walks of life are actually motivated by various elements, and mine was biblical and religious, and I made use of that because it's very, very important to use guiding principles that resonate with you, that will keep you strong, that will keep you resilient even during tough times. Then, as I mentioned earlier, mass media coverage. I've really ensured that I'm I am out there, the brand is out there. It's not only about, sharing information about the product, but it's also about value add. The value add, which is about product and services, giving in people information that they need and that information that is relevant for the times. So mass media coverage in terms of being on radio, I've been on TV, I've been on radio, and very much on digital, because everyone now is on digital. Consistency, very, very important. I'm very much involved with radio shows that I've been involved with for many, many years. Also involved in the digital space for many, many years, giving back and being relevant. And what do I mean by relevant? During this scourge of COVID-19, there have been very many myths around COVID-19, and I've ensured that I've made myself available just to demystify some of those myths and help families who are in dire straits, in dire need of information about healthy living, just to nourish and nurture body, mind, and spirit. And in that way, the Elegance brand has maintained its presence throughout. Then also very much, as I mentioned, networking with the right people, being in spaces, corporate spaces, where one is able to engage in joint ventures with the right people, with the right corporates, so that the enterprise is not just in isolation, but is amplified by leveraging on the resources of others as well. Also very much in mainstream advertising, very much in mainstream media. And here it was very much about, this article in particular was about the fact that Elegance has seen a need for the plus size woman and respects the women of all types, women of all ages, women of all body types, and has developed a range that is unique and specifically designed to give the woman confidence when walking into the gym, so that they can take their healthy lifestyle journey in confidence. And this is the brand, Elegance Wellness Boutique, very much out there, and being in, and also going around all the provinces of South Africa, not only showcasing the brand itself, not only showcasing the products, but also adding value into the lives of others. Consistent consumer engagement and adding value. And that has been done by the mass workouts and boot camps. So aligning activities that are relevant to the product and to the service has been very, very, very much important. And utilizing the skills that I've attained formally at a university level and through my experience in the various hospitals and the likes. And this is in one of the shows. Yet another example of consumer engagement. And this is also consumer engagement, showing that the service was not only just about the adults, but also it's a service that's been tailor-made to service from the cradle to the grave. So all age types, talk and very much inculcated into the family system. And what's been the outputs? The output has been awesome in terms of the fact that it's given Elegance Wellness Boutique a global stage, a big stage with the biggest corporates. So when one looks at the corporates that one has been engagement, your global corporates like Coca-Cola, brands like Cable, Tiger Brands, Vodacom, mobile, the biggest mobile networks are in Africa and across the globe. Your Clovers. So a small town girl, a young entrepreneur evolving into the global stage through the principles that I've mentioned earlier, and just in terms of the print and taking on and being inculcated and inculcating the lessons learned from an age, just from a township, from observations from a township, meshing that together with formal education. And here, another community involved in a community of 1.5 million women. This was a virtual community on Facebook. And the key there was to take that virtual community and bring it to life. And Elegance was there. Also involved globally with a global program that's dealing with youth that are living with HIV. And this is an initiative that is sponsored by people, global players like a Charlize Theron. And also being invited by the Department of Sports and Culture to give presentations on entrepreneurship and to motivate the youth in schools. Then also going global. I've also been through the work that's been done, working together with one of my mentors, Dr. Shamila, and have become a national director in South Africa for the International Youth Society. Also very much involved with Prof. Makaka and Dr. Shamila, and thanking them very much for the platforms that they created for the globe, for the world and for the globe, and making an impact on so many people's lives. And then eventually to being celebrated by the Nelson Mandela Foundation, as mentioned earlier, for being one of the women that are celebrated alive. Because what happens is that people are celebrated when they're not around. So being celebrated alive by the Nelson Mandela Foundation, not just as a businesswoman, but someone who is making a difference to women and focusing on the core of women who are a key influence in their families and habits and behaviors in the families, and making a difference so that we bring up a youth that is productive and healthy. And then what is the way forward? The way forward is about reframing. Yes, it's hard, it's tough for many people. Many people are in dire straits, people are becoming unemployed, but it's about reframing and bringing about that entrepreneurial spirit again so that people can look at their talents. What can they do with their minds? What can they do with their hands? What is it that they can do that is a consumer need that they can latch on and create a business for themselves so that they become, part of this economic expansion, part of this economic growth. And so for me, I take inspiration from Utata Nelson Mandela. The greatest glory in living is not in falling, but in rising every time we fall. And for me, it's about rising even higher, taking these times when one is at a trough and getting to the biggest and the highest of peaks. Thank you very much. For me, the journey continues, and I hope I've inspired potential entrepreneurs out there to go out and rise as entrepreneurs. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Ella Ford Mtathwa from South Africa. That was a very wonderful talk that you have shared to our audience tonight. Okay, so in your talk, I have some notes, and I think these are the most significant ideas that we took from your lecture for tonight. Okay, so Dr. Ella Ford give emphasis on inculcating resilience beyond the pandemic time, and of course, finding opportunities beyond the gloom and doom. Okay, I think that is the most values that we have. Now we should have to be resilient, especially during this pandemic time. Okay, in her talk about the hustle is real, I think this is also one of the values that we should have. We really have to work hard for ourselves and for our family, and of course to sustain our professional life. Okay, working hard or working energetically. It's uh, based on making opportunity, the idea, operating model, and the impact. And A formal education doesn't work alone. It's really true. No, so based on the experience of Dr. Ella, she pointed out that formal education was supported by observations from the seasoned informal traders. Well, that is based on her experience. Okay, and we should have a strong set of values. And mentioned by Dr. Ella, we should have to be disciplined. There should have consistency, smart work, and hard work, of course. Then having the consistent support from educational institutions, community, corporate, government entities, NGOs, financial institutions, and global entities. So just like what she said, that it takes a whole village to raise a child. And another is, which is also significant during this pandemic time, gathering informations that are relevant. And Dr. Ella also pointed out the importance of respecting all women. Okay, based on the enterprise and entrepreneurship education, one of the idea that I took is that aligning of products and services to the family system or the consumer needs. Okay, so that is the idea that I got from the talk of Dr. Ella. Of course, you maybe it is different from the idea that you have gained. Okay, and thank you so much, Dr. Ella, and please stay with us because later on we will have a question and answer about the topic that we have tonight. Okay, so I think it's time to move on to our next speaker. But before we move on to our next speaker, once again, I want to remind everyone to please support us by sharing, by tagging and mentioning your friends in the comment section. Later on, we will give the e-certificate link in the comment box. And if ever that you will face any problem, you can collect the e-certificate direct from our website, www.eduigp.com. And after collecting your e-certificate, don't forget to celebrate with IGP by, of course, checking with our website. Okay? So, we have our next speaker. Our next speaker is a prestigious title holder of Mrs. Scotland Universe 2019 in UK and a professional with over 13 years of experience in supply chain management and project management roles in Heineken UK, IBM, Tech Mahindra, or former Mahindra Satyam. She is a motivational speaker, a philanthropist, business leader, a social activist, and a model. She is passionate with about environment and women and youth empowerment. She is a founder director of Alvirago Limited, chairperson of Ladies of All Nations International in Scotland, focusing on empowering and inspiring each other and continue to build positive growth in society. She is a council member of UK India Business Council of the Women's India Chamber of Commerce and Industry, with vision to strengthen women's entrepreneurships and boost businesses through greater engagement with government institutions and global trade. Inclusion and Diversity Ambassador of Heineken UK, represented in Scottish Parliament supporting LGBT plus community. She is a part of projects like Save the Girl Child, Educate the Girl Child in collaboration with social organization Scottish India Mahila Cultural Centre, and Scottish Councils of Scotland. Organizer charity event Voice Against Inhumanity, focusing on domestic violence. Allergy awareness, raising funds for different organizations like Keto for Human Trafficking, a National Health Service for their relentless service, the Indian Council of Scotland for all Indian students in collaboration with Consulate General of India in Edinburgh, Albalor, Scotland's children's charity and campaigns, Sight Savers, and the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. Ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you Ma'am Rashmi Rai.
Hi, John. Thank you
Hello, ma'am.
so much. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction about me. I was working with Heineken UK, but now I'm with a frozen food company over here, which is Nomad Foods Private Europe Limited. Uh, so yeah, so let me start with my presentation. First of all, I would like to thank this organization where online the classes are being taken, and this is a kind of an entrepreneur biggest examples where we take sessions, and there are students who take examples and inspirations from the speakers, and then if it helps them or motivates them in any way, that will be one of the success stories for us and for them as well, in any way if it inspires them. So I would like to really thank Dr. Ella. She was very, very inspiring, and a lot of things that she has been doing in Africa and around. It's commendable, and we really learn a lot from her. So I would now present about my thoughts and views on my entrepreneurial journey. So are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So, yes, I'm the founder and director of Alvirago Limited, but how did all of this come into picture? So there is a journey, there is a story where Alvirago was born. So I'm going to talk today about the value of enterprise and entrepreneurship education. A bit about myself, as already John has introduced, but yes, I have been representing Scotland in Mrs. Universe in 2019 in China. A couple of my education is I'm an electronics engineer. I've done my MBA. I'm certified in supply chain courses from the Chalmers Institute of Technology, USA. Child protection, I have done a course from the Harvard University, and I do understand globally what's going on around with the children and the youth, and how education is impacting, the lack of education is impacting, and how education is actually also helping in supporting them to grow. So apart from that, my hobbies are I love networking, I love dancing, hiking. Nature is one of the passionate things for me. I love to go in nature, and beauty, of course. I don't want to leave that. Being as a part of the fashion industry as well. So on skills and languages, I am especially one of the softwares called as SAP. So I do work on that, and have couple exposure into the supply chain management and the project management. Now, for me, what is enterprise value? I thank Dr. Ella for taking us through enterprise and giving us a brief, the basics about that. But coming on to, like, if we at all have a vision of building up an organization, so what comes to our thoughts? Along with an organization, we do carry certain terminology, the financial terminologies, some big jargons coming up into the mind. So I've tried to simplify it, which came to my mind when I was about to start my company. So enterprise value is a measure of a company's total value, often used as a more comprehensive alternative to equity market capitalization. Probably it's all about calculating the market capitalization of a company, but also short term and long term debt, as well as any cash on the company's balance sheet. But if you are a startup, you don't really have to think much about it, because startup is to all about showcase your talent, to work something on and prove to people. Now, why do we need an enterprise value? Because the investors, they actually evaluate your company. There are certain measures, there are certain tools that they have to use to evaluate your company and determine whether it is undervalued or not. So what kind of a company do you have? So enterprise value plays a very significant role for the investors, especially if you go on to someone and present your ideas. So they will try to understand the actual value of your company, the actual value of your thoughts, and they try to do the comparisons. Now, who uses this? So there are analysts and investors in the market who actually do the valuation of your company. Like we have Ernst and Young, we have Reuters, and there are many more who do the actual evaluations. There are quality checks, there are balance sheet checks. So these are all done by certain companies looking at your financial year results. EBITDA is one of the very major terms which is used in any of the organizations to assess the overall financial performance. However, EBITDA is about the financial performance, but how does it differ with enterprise value? Is enterprise value is a firm's total value. And generally, it is seen that if the value is below 10, then it means that your company is in a healthy state, or it is above the average by analysts and the investors. So now these are some basic things, when you think about your enterprise. First thing is valuation, and all those things come up. But from a startup point of view, we don't really think much, because there are some charity organizations, but organizations like those which are commercial, they really have to give thoughts on this. Now, okay, so those are big terms and big jargons. How do we reach to that position? So this has to come from education. This has to be inculcated into the minds of the young people. What do they want to do? So entrepreneurship education, like today we are in a platform which is imparting education digitally across the world. We can have students from anywhere across the world, and thanks to this pandemic, that we have come to a platform where traveling ain't necessary. You can get whatever you want digitally. That fast is the communication mode now. So these entrepreneurship education, they provide vision. It is out of a lot of research. There is a lot of brainstorming strategies, goals involved into these entrepreneurship studies. Now, who imparts this? There are all levels of schooling, from primary to secondary schools, through graduate and university programs. Now, what place? That's why we say that, why do we see good schools, why do we want education? Because there is the place where your child goes through a brainstorming session. Child tries to understand the strategies, and then he has a goal in his life. So we need certain people who are very good mentors, who can mentor them to not only serve do a service, but also develop the overall person, which is called by doing a personality development. So when the overall personality is developed by the person, how does this come? It is through the contents, the methods and activities that is supporting the children to become entrepreneurs, the competencies, experiences of the teachers, and to impart this to the students. That is very important in creating the entrepreneurial values into the young minds. Now, why is it important? It is important because it has the ability to improve the standards of living and create wealth, not only for the entrepreneurs but also for the related businesses, for the communities, because we have different kinds of entrepreneurs. I'll take you through that. So it's not only about the businesses but also the community you're living and the people that are benefited by your work, and along with people, you are benefited financially as well as morally and socially. These entrepreneurs, they help drive change with innovation. They have new ideas, new products to get into the market, and believe me, there is something for everyone in this world. So how does this entrepreneurship come? Once these kind of these schools or these platforms are created, the young minds think. Now, what drives entrepreneurship is, I believe, is the leadership skill, the leadership skill within you. So you do learn from your failures and successes. You do set goals. So you might set some goals which you might not achieve, but then you learn from your mistakes and then you set the smart goals which you want to achieve in life. Then communication skills do matter a lot, because that is a mode of communication. That is how you will impart your thoughts and views about your product to the local people or globally when it grows. So when it goes to global, then you need to know the local market of different countries and continents so that your product, your idea is successful. Sorry. Confidence is one very big thing. How are you able to present your ideas? I'm sorry. Prioritizing what is to be given when, and how are you managing time? Taking the feedback from people. When you start anything locally, you need to take feedbacks constantly from people, because these feedbacks might be negative, might be positive, might be mediocre, but then these feedbacks are definitely going to help you grow. Because with the feedbacks, you will learn that next time when I go to a conference, or next time when I'm launching a product, these things are to be kept into mind. And yes, like in the previous session, we had from Dr. Ella, that we need to see the market, the market, what do people want. So if the feedback is coming from people, then you will know what people want, and then you will actually work around those solutions. Timely info and decision making skills are very very important. What I can say is from the project management view, and when you're an entrepreneur, you have to take decisions of your life. So be it a business, be it a personal life, be it a social entrepreneur or anything, decisions can be right, decisions can be wrong, but decisions are something that will drive your thoughts and your views, and be assertive of what you want to do. So this is the leadership skill that I think are very very important in life. Now, entrepreneurship education, as I said before, that I'm going to take you through them. So there are four distinct types of entrepreneurial education organizations that I feel are there. So one is the small businesses, there are scalable startups, there are large companies, there are social entrepreneurs. Now they all engage into entrepreneurship. So it's not like a small business or a social entrepreneur is not entrepreneurship. It is. Maybe they are not a social entrepreneur might not be financially that sound, but again, he or she is an entrepreneur. They are delivering something to the society. They at some point of time, they will financially get involved into certain aspects of the society, because they have a vision to change lives. And that is how the Ladies of All Nations International is doing from UK. So there are seven types of entrepreneurs. There are some home-based who want to work from home. They are self-employed, and these kind of people, you can see that there are many women who want to work from home. They don't want to go to office, or some can't go to office because they have the family obligations. So they start their own small businesses like jewelries, selling clothes, ornaments and all these kind of stuff. There's internet based big world, and there are so many people who use this virtual platform and support the business activities which we all know. So this is one of the internet based activity that we are currently it's a best digital platform. So there are certain lifestyle based entrepreneurs who actually it's their hobby, and then that gets converted into income for them, like blogging, photography, writing, teaching, cooking, or training somebody. So initially they start with a hobby, but then you grow, and then you realize that that can be a part of the income, and that's how you become an entrepreneur on your own. High potential is the companies who actually employ the other employees, between 20 to 500 people. We have so many information technology, financial firms. So these are all the high potential companies. Now, social entrepreneurs that I'm talking about here is who are someone responsible for social, cultural, and environmental issues. There's a lot of community based awareness going on, there's a lot of awareness campaigns. And how to develop this. There are funds from the government, from the local bodies, or even from the government. They are putting up. So these social entrepreneurs in today's world are playing a very very important um, part, who are actually helping people change their lives. Now there are venture capitalists. So these are the startups who are just starting up their company, but they seem to have the potential to develop, to grow more. So there are investors sitting over there who can actually see your thoughts and your ideas, and they know that if there is a potential, they'll then invest into your company, so that both of you can be benefited, and it's a win-win situation basically. So so it's all about your passion, your ideas, and all those thoughts in you. It's your personality development. And then there is the last one, which is a franchisee format, which is there are educational institutions, or the best example I can give you is the beauty salons. They have different franchisees. If we know that this hairdresser is good, or this beauty salon is having a good makeup artist, and this kind of, so there's a franchisee format that people want the same kind of stuff. They do take the franchisee by giving some grants. Now, what is the benefit of an entrepreneur? So it looks really tough, that how do I start a company, and how do I put in money, how do I do everything. But if you look at the benefits of being an entrepreneur, is like, this is something what you love to do. Your own boss, that nobody to say that you do this, you have to deliver at this point of time, and then you work with people you like. So there are many places where if you are working in a service industry, you have to work with a team of people. Sometimes you like, sometimes you don't like, sometimes the work is not of your interest, but you're still doing because you have been asked to do. So these kind of restrictions are when you are not an entrepreneur. But when you are an entrepreneur, you will work with like-minded people. You will make your own schedules, you will be passionate, you are not bound to if you have to get up early in the morning or work till late nights. It's your own wish that you will do it. And the survey shows us that there's when you are an entrepreneur, you have a job satisfaction of 86%, success rate is 84%, you have a freedom which is 83%, and happiness is 81%, because you have complete job satisfaction, you have time for the family, you can go out, I mean, you're on your own. And the money that you generate is again not less, it is 71%, which is very very good. So it gives a lot of self confidence, and there are unexpected and thrilling experiences in your own life. So it's amazing actually to be an entrepreneur. And in today's date, I can definitely say you that I'm also one of the entrepreneurs, and my journey started with something, and today I'm still I'm loving to be an entrepreneur. Now I'll take you through my journey. So my journey, as you know, we are all kids, and then we grow up, and then we go into schools. And so in the school, again, a teacher is the person who actually does a brainstorming, who actually guides you, who actually monitors you, and from there the kids pick up. So something that my teachers noted me was that I used to be a class monitor, and they did see some leadership skills in me. And my entire life, school life, I should say, that I was the class monitor every year. And when I became the class monitor, there was a consistency in my work. So when I reached my undergraduation, there I became the school monitor, because these many years which have been into my, which is coming up, building me up as a leader, was finally that I became the school captain. So I was representing the school. So that's how, your skills are being developed slowly, and then you become a person. So it is a teacher, it is the parents in the initial stages who help a child to build their entire personality. Now moving on to my, and it was like, it's not like I'm only the leader. I You can also see a picture where I'm I used to participate in all the cultural activities. That's a school picture I could grab. So it's overall development, and I was also one of the toppers in my class. So how does that all come? How does that healthy competition come into you, that you have to grow, you have to rise? So teachers, your own interest, that leads to you, towards a success. Now when I came to graduation and post graduation, my MBA, so there I was actually exposed to a diverse culture. I was exposed to independent ways of living. I was exposed to take a decision making. So it was all on my own. So until the 12th class, you are with your parents, and then you're exposed all of a sudden. In my case, I was then I lived in hostels, and I was quite exposed to take my own decisions, what is right and what is wrong, and then also continuing my studies, and then working on my passion. So you can see in one of the pictures, I was in my graduation. It was a fashion show. I was there, so I designed the entire fashion show for my college. And it was also we came third as a winner. But so these are the passion that actually leads you. So after post graduation, then I came to the IT world. I was introduced there. I got campus selected, and companies did hire me. So now I was completely into the information technology digital world, where I learned to take ownership. I took responsibilities, and I knew what is respect, how to respect people, how to respect your seniors, what kind of attitude I need to carry, the gratitudes, IT skills. Of course, you learn the software technologies and all. But you can see here that I'm the only lady sitting in one of the conferences. I was selected for one of the training courses. And the second one, of course, is of Heineken UK, which was mentioned before. I'm giving a presentation over here. So I did evolve on my own, and it was a beautiful journey, I should say. But somewhere in my thoughts, I did have that I want to do something. So I did get married, and then after marriage, I had a sweet little girl. She's 4 now. And somewhere, the fashion was still there into my mind. And then I thought, let us pick it up. And it was a joint decision with my husband. And I did pursue my dreams, and I became Mrs. Scotland Universe. by entering into a national pageant over here. And this beauty pageant basically, again, was thriving me towards a personality development more. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I'm good, I'm educated, I'm skilled, I'm working in a very nice information technology organization. I'm promoted, I'm earning. So everything is good, but still the passion, is there something sometimes in your mind which you want to actually pursue? So now this beauty pageant actually gave me or exposed me to various platforms where I actually had to strive, continuously strive. Being resilient is something which I remember from the last session. So I used to go meet people. I didn't know many people, but then I used to go. I used to do networking. I used to know what people, think. What is this social entrepreneurship? What is this community? What are the activities happening? So I used to do a lot of donation and community services, but it was all offline, when people didn't know. But when I was exposed to people after having this crown on my head, and people wanted to listen to me, and that's how I evolved as a person, I should say, where I got to know what society wants. You have to be positive and you have to contribute anything which is productive to the society. And there are always pros and cons. There will be people who will be actually uh, be a bit negative about you, but always negativity is something you take it as a opportunity, because when something is said about you, you think that you have to improve on it. Somebody must have noticed that you know it's not working, so you have to work on these things. So basically it's the passion that is going in your mind. How do you take your life? You are going to take your life positively. You want to learn, you want to grow, you want to learn, you want to grow. People will say so many things. You don't really have to think about that. You have to think what you want to do in life. You have to be diligently focusing on your thoughts, what you want to do. Believe me, there will be filters. You will come up and you will get those like-minded people, as I told in my previous slides. So now, after representing to in the Mrs. Universe, I got back. I did start my own company. Now, before that, I was also before starting my own company, I was with Ladies of All. I'm still with Ladies of All Nations International Youth Society. So I was working with these organizations, and then I realized that something. I need to collaborate and work. I need to do something more in Scotland. Now, how do I do that? So it was then that Alvirago came into my mind, and Alvirago meaning is, Virago means women warrior and Al means all women warriors. So that's how this concept was born, that all the women, they are warriors in their own fields, and the resilience is something that drives success in your life. Do small, but do it. Doing it is taking the first step towards your dreams, and that's how Alvirago came. And now I'm also co-founder of a social media channel which is Good People TV. I do my own shows, Alvirago show on Good People TV and Global TV. Apart from that, there are so many other social media channels where my show is released in Philippines, especially. Uh, so in these shows, all the inspiring leaders from across the globe, I pick them who are actually from the same community. These people have worked so much and they are actually inspiring, who can be your next door neighbors. And they must be a very, very famous personality. So I pick those people and they are part of my shows, and you can go and check on my Facebook page, which is Alvirago. And all my shows are over there, and Good People TV as well, you can see. So I've already conducted for 30 plus women and men up till now. There are multiple charity organizations that I'm already associated with, which one of which prestigious organizations is Ladies of All Nations International, who has through which I'm sitting here today in front of you. Then there is Women's International Chamber of Commerce and Industry, where I'm working between UK and India Business Council. I'm the National Director for International Youth Society as well here. Now, my accomplishments are, as I already told you, through Alvirago. I've been doing multiple conferences. There was one conference which I did yesterday, which was based on environment. Before that, I did on education. I did White Ribbon Day, which was on domestic abuse. Then it's not only that, but there's some fun and entertainment as well in my life. So I did some musical nights with Bollywood singers as well. There are I never expected that I'll be getting the awards, but awards did line up, and these are a couple of some awards. The first one, which you can see here, is in House of Lords in the UK Parliament. Then Ladies of All Nations Global Change Maker Mahatma Gandhi Global Peace Award. From Women Economic Forum I have received. So these are a couple of awards which you can see here. Then Entity of Future Leaders, this is one of the awards. Then in social media, in books, this all came with my work. I never went and I said that, please publish me, but it was a work that took me to these places. And in today's date, when I see, I it feels like, did I really come through this much in my life? And I still feel that I'm a beginner and I still want to do a lot in my life. So I was featured here in 100 Most Successful Women USA. I was here in the Scottish Sun newspaper, in radio channels in Scotland, some in India newspapers and magazines, some in US magazines, which you can see on the top. So there's one picture which is in the UK Parliament again. So this is all about my journey, which I took you. I think it was helpful in some way, but this is the entrepreneurial journey that I never thought, and it was it did happen. I mean, today I'm an entrepreneur. I have my own company, which was once a dream. But your decisions, your actions do matter a lot in your life. Your learnings do matter a lot in your life, and how you take your life. So it's basically your passion should drive you, and there are so many things that will happen. You just have to filter out and diligently work towards your passion with exuberance. Thank you so much.
Okay, so what a lovely and wonderful presentation. And I think it was a very interesting story, Mom Rashmi. And
Thank
I
you.
believe and I believe that you were able to give beautiful insights on this topic, and that the participant got the important takeaways tonight. Thank you so much for giving your valuable time and sharing your knowledge with us tonight. And
Thank
let
you
me
so
share
much.
to you,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am. And let me share to you some of the takeaways that I have taken from your lectures. And of course, some of the takeaways, some of our participants also have their own um, ideas that learned from your lecture. Okay, uh, based on Mom Rashmi's talk, entrepreneurship education seek to provide students knowledge, skills, and motivation to encourage entrepreneurial success in a variety of settings. She stressed the importance of inculcating not only the skills, but most especially the entrepreneurial values into the young minds. Also, she discussed about the leadership effectiveness, which is about learning from failure, setting smart goals, communication skills, confidence building, prioritizing and managing time, the valuing of feedback, timely and informed decision making, and being assertive. And of course, uh, she discussed also the benefits of uh, entrepreneurial education, which is being flexible in schedule, having autonomy, career that is designed with your values, constant growth and development, unexpected and thrilling experiences, meeting like-minded people, choosing who to work with, and with greater confidence. And based on Ma'am Rashmi's journey, she stressed also that school experiences have great contribution in developing one's personality. And I thank you for that, Mom, because I am also a teacher. So, thank you so much, Mom Rashmi, for emphasizing to everyone tonight the role of teachers and education towards the holistic development of an individual.
That's
And
really lovely. You are a teacher, I'm
yes,
glad to
ma'am.
know, and I did pick up that point. And yeah, I'm still in touch with my teachers today.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so to all students out there, you should have to explore more things towards your personality development. Always be excellent, and being excellent means doing your best to excel in everything you do, because we don't know that someday we might be like Mom Rashmi also, a successful entrepreneur and a successful individual. Okay, so thank you so much, Mom Rashmi, and please stay with us because later on we will have the question and answer version.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure and honor to be part of this learning platform which you all are encouraging for all the students out there. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. And I think our participants later on will have the question and about the topic, and maybe you can have the more practical answer to their queries. Okay, so let us now proceed to our quiz competition. So we are encouraging everyone to participate and have a chance to have a certificate for winning in the quiz. So we are inviting everyone to please participate with our quiz for tonight. So we have the code for the quiz using the Slido. The code is IGP quiz. The link is on the comment box. So far we have 74 participants in the quiz. We are still waiting for the others to come in our Slido application. Okay, so far we have 80 participants. So for those who have no idea about Slido, you can download Slido at um, the App Store for free. Then you can be able to register so that you can join every time that we have our quiz in the IGP webinar. Again, the quiz link is located on the comment box, or you can go directly. You just have to open your application in your cell phone or in your laptop, and then in code, key in the code, all caps IGP quiz. So far, we have 105 participants. The winners for this quiz will have a certificate. Okay, so you are advised to please use your full name, because the names that will be put in your certificate will be taken from the name that is registered to the Slido. Again, please use your full name. Okay, currently we have 118 participants. Okay, some of the names are being flashed on the screen. We now have 123, and we're waiting for the admin to start the quiz. Again, we will pick your name from the quiz Slido, so join with your full name, which will directly print on certificates. Top 10 will be awarded with quiz completion certificates. After this quiz, we will have the question and answer. Okay, what are examples, or what is the example of entrepreneurship? Bill Gates, Barack Obama. Okay, 95% of the participants get the correct answer. Okay, for the second question, entrepreneurship is managing a store, starting and running a business. Okay, again, 95% of the participants got the correct answer. Next question, define entrepreneurship, marketing, display, planning. Okay, there are 52% of the participants got the correct answer. Okay, next, entrepreneurship is important because the government says so. Okay, we have on the leaderboard, and that is the third question. Government says so, it creates jobs. Wow, 99% of the participants got the correct answer. On the leaderboard, we have number one on the list, we have Enkeleda Memaj. Okay, what does entrepreneurship mean? It involves the size and education level of the workforce. It involves creativity, risk needed to develop new goods and services. 93% of the participants got the correct answer. Wow. Again, on the number six question, which best describes entrepreneurship? Person willing to take a financial risk by making a GS, ability of a person to work more efficiently than others. Okay, 73% of the participants got the correct answer. And for number seven, what level of education do you need to be an entrepreneur? High school, university, any of the above. 98% got the correct answer. And we have now a different name on the number one spot. Number eight, education communication information specialist do what? Communication skills to share information, communicate over phone. Wow, 99% of the participants get the correct answer. Let's see. Okay, we have Noong Laton on the number one spot. Number nine, what do you do in an entrepreneurship? Work for a business, operate a business. Okay, 76% got the correct answer. And for the last number, land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship are factors of production. True or false? Okay, 97% of the participants got the correct answer. And we have different name on the number one spot. We have John Paul B. De Luna for number one. Number two, we have Naong Lat Ton. Number three, Melinda Hispano. Number four, Kathleen Vendy. Okay, congratulations to the quiz competition winners top 10. Okay, so I think in your Slido application, the rank is being announced there. So you should know what rank are you. Okay, so the top 10 is being flashed on the screen. Okay, so congratulations, and you will be receiving a certificate for winning the quiz. Okay, so we have top 1, John Paul B. De Luna, 2, Naong Lat Ton, 3, Melinda C. Hispano, 4, Kathleen Wendy Sabud, Number 5, Paul C. Press. 6, Lizelle A. Gabaldon. 7, Julie Aguilar. 8, Feruz Akbarov. 9, Nasser Drareni. And number 10 is Ameline A. Katubay. They all of them got a perfect score on the quiz competition. Okay, so let us now come to the question and answer part of our webinar. If you have any questions or queries in your mind, please do not hesitate to type your question in. Hello once again, Dr. Ella and Mom Rashmi Rai.
Hi there.
We are waiting for our participants. Okay, we have the first participant to ask a question from Manolita Ramas Aligo for all the speakers. So for both of you, what is the difference between an entrepreneur and a businessman? What are the basis of the comparison? Uh, Mom Rashmi, can you go
Okay.
first?
Yeah, I will. So, entrepreneur is someone who has his own ideas and he's not obliged by any financial aspects. Entrepreneur can be any kind of entrepreneurs. Like I told you, there are seven kind of entrepreneurs. So it can be a social, it can be a big company, it can be a startup, or it can be anybody. So actually anybody can become an entrepreneur. As you had one of the questions over here that, do you really need a degree to become an entrepreneur? No. So an entrepreneur can be of any kind. Businessman, however, is a person which involves who involves with the financial aspects. So if it is a business, then you need to have money, then you need to have the enterprise value, then you need to have a vita and all those kind of constraints that come into picture. So that is basically a businessman, and then a businessman is dealing with other financial institutions. However, an entrepreneur might not. So this is one of the very basic differences that I feel for an entrepreneur and the businessman. When it is a businessman, then it is a people say it's a man-to-man talk kind of a thing. So it's business, purely business. However, when you are an entrepreneur, you can have a network of people. You can talk your ideas. You can present it. You can work in your own ways. So you can have like-minded people. However, in a business, however, a businessman might for his profitability or for his business, he might end up being in touch with so unlike minded people as well. So there are certain challenges in both of them, I should say. It's not only about like entrepreneurs. So businessman is where financial aspects are there, and money today means so much. uh, in I mean so much, but not everything. However, for an entrepreneur, money does matter, but not is not everything. So these I think are certain things which I would give preferences. And entrepreneur is a person who is living his life on his own terms. However, a businessman might not.
Okay, so thank you, Mom Rashmi. So I think everyone can be an entrepreneur. Okay. So to Dr. Ella, what can you say about the question?
Yeah, thank you so much, Rashmi. I think she's covered it really, really well. what I can do is just maybe add a few more pointers in the sense that we've covered the fact that when you're an entrepreneur, it's a lot more flexible versus a business person because there's no restriction in terms of age, in terms of gender, and it's so relevant, especially when it comes from when you think about it from an African perspective, because entrepreneurs come from the most unexpected places. In most instances in the African context. And had it been sort of restricted into this box of businessmen, then it wouldn't be the case. Because what one often finds with businessmen is that they report to somebody else, and it's very cold, hardcore financials in terms of the numbers, whereas as Rashmi has rightfully put it, when it comes to entrepreneurs, it's very much about passion. It's also very much about the softer side of things in terms of making an impact, making a social impact. Whereas with a business person, as I said, there's a group of people that they report to, and it's a group of stakeholders. Sometimes it's a board of directors and the likes. Whereas with an entrepreneur, you're able to work fast, you're able to work quicker, you're able to make decisions in real time. Whereas in terms of the long chain of decision making, when it comes to a businessman, it can sometimes be quite frustrating because there's a lack of that immediacy. And if there's red tape, and it's an organization that has a lot of this red tape, you sometimes miss relevance, and sometimes you miss the consumer centricity because there's so many channels that you have to cross. That's the way that I see it.
Okay, so thank you so much, Dr. Ella. So based on Dr. Ella's answer, uh, entrepreneurship is more flexible. Okay, so another question is from Feruz Akbarov, one of the winners, I think, of the quiz competition. To Dr. Ella Ford, as a resilient entrepreneur who rose higher through the challenges, what are some of the easy hacks of yours to those individuals who want to become an entrepreneur in a cash, resource, and infrastructure limited places?
Thank you so much, Farouz, for that question. It's very, very relevant, especially in today's society. The first point that I can, put forward based on my experience is resilience also comes from good introspection and being honest with yourself. Because what I've found is that entrepreneurs who haven't really done well and haven't been able to rise above their challenges are those who have been very inward thinking in terms of spending too much time in those troughs, spending too much time, in that mentality of trying to rebuild their businesses on their own. So being truthful and honest about where you are at that stage and doing a proper introspection and a quick introspection has really worked for people like myself and others. And what do I mean by that? Because it enables one to be able to go and find help very, very quickly. I listed before in my presentation the various avenues that one can go to in terms of ensuring that you get the necessary help and you get it very quickly. In South Africa, for instance, there have been relief funds that have been available, and doing homework and going out and finding those areas for relief has been very instrumental in enabling businesses to rise again and get those cash resources that they need, and very, very quickly. And they've come in different formats. They've come in the form of grants, and they've come in the form of short-term loans, and loans that have looked at that are very customized, looking at the type of business that you are, looking at your history, your track record, and your ability to get back on track. So very much customized. And it's also been very, very important to understand that having good governance even before you get to that place has been key in enabling others to help you, because that's when they're able to see that this person is actually very, very serious. Their bookkeeping is good. They've been managing their financials well, and they've been very, very serious, and they've been very, very profitable. So it's become very much easier to help those businesses that have, number one, had a good track record, and number two, businesses who've shown that they've very good governance, and businesses who have been very honest and have been able to give honest feedback in terms of in their introspection. In terms of the resources and infrastructure, um, these entities, whether it be government or NGOs, have developed programs where they've not only utilized skills that are government-based and the likes from the universities and the likes, but skills that have been sort of amplified by the use of mentors and people who've been there. Because as we know that as business people, most of us have failed a few times and have developed and taken our learnings from there. So getting, wisdom and understanding from those who've been there has also been a very important part of rising up against these challenges. And just using, as Rashmi has said earlier, for me personally, I've used the demise of the store that I've had in the mall as an opportunity for me to rise again. I'm even dreaming much bigger than before, and using platforms and networks such as these has enabled me to build a new and better business plan. And the dream is much bigger. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Ella. It is really true that resilience comes from a thorough introspection. That was a very comprehensive explanation, Dr. Ella. Okay, another question is still coming from Sir Feruz Akbarov to Miss Rashmi Rai. Being an entrepreneur helps you to align your values with your career preferences. But on the flip side, it may also isolate you in your own secluded comfort zone outside the bigger world. So how to cope with isolation management that is likely to arise down the line in the long run? Ma'am Rashmi?
Yeah, thank you, Feroz Akbaro, for this question. I think this is very important question because yes, we are into our own comfort zones and we would like to have those kind of like-minded people. But then the flip side is definitely there that for you, as you feel that you are isolated, uh, at some point of time when you start up you might feel isolated because there are certain steps in the ladder which you have to cross to rise high. Now for me I have certain dreams. You can't be the jack of, you have to be a master of one, you can't be the jack of all trades. So if you have one aim you have to focus on that. And people can be multi-talented, but they have some dream definitely, and they want to achieve that dream through various sources. Now there are some people whom you will have to filter out from your life, and that is isolating yourselves from them. But then when you isolate from them, you have another group of people who are welcoming you and your thoughts. So in a way you are never actually isolated, but you are secluding yourselves from the not so like-minded people to like-minded people, which is this is one of the perfect examples in my life, because I had gone through similar phases where we have many friends, we do a lot of networking, and I'm a kind of very, very social person. But when it comes to my dreams, my focuses, and what I want to do in my life, I realized that I need to filter out people. But it's not about creating animosity, but making them realize that, I have a different dream. I have something different than you to do in my life. So it's all about acceptance between you and the people with whom you're associated with. The sooner both of you accept, it is easy for both of you to attain that maturity level, and then pursue your own career. So they might have their own dreams and you might have your own dreams. So it's all about maturity and acceptance, how you take things or how you project it, how you present it, and then you have to rise above. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ma'am Rai. Okay, we have another question from Noronisa Bakar. For Ma'am Rashmi Rai, what is your biggest motivation as a successful woman?
As I told you, I do. First of all, thank you so much, Noroneza. This looks like something I do, and I'm able to answer you. So for me, biggest motivation, when I myself do the social media channel. My show is Alvirago Show with Rashmi. When I meet these kind of inspiring people who do a lot, and why do I take someone else? I should take Dr. Ella Ford, who has been an excellent example sitting here. She is a very inspiring lady. She has done a lot in her life, and she's so energetic. So she is very inspiring. So I can, it's not that you take on all the positive points or all the negative points, but something that common trait that you have and your inspiring person has within your own community. So it is the common people who rise above and they become successful. So it is within you and me. You might become someday, a successful person, and I might take your interview. So it's all about how you intake the positive values, how you correlate with the people whom you meet. So that's why it is said that your surroundings, the people you meet, are really very important. And someone like John, a teacher at a young age, will mentor you what is right and what is wrong, and that helps you in decision making at later stages of your life. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for that very wonderful question from our participant. It seems like it's a question for Mrs. Mrs. Universe. Okay, another question from Lamberto Pilatan to Dr. Ella. Earlier, you have stated that it takes a village to educate a child. Ma'am, what are you going to do if stakeholders are not supportive to the child's education or business?
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Lamberto, for that question. When I mentioned it takes a village to educate a child, it actually even went beyond the child as in its human form, but into the way that we view as entrepreneurs, the way that we view our businesses. Many people refer to their businesses as babies, because it's close to their heart. It's something that's close to their heart. It's passion, and it's an analogy that's used because it's something that drives them. That even in difficult times, it would drive them. Because as you know, when it comes to our children, you know what, there are no limits in terms of the energy that we give. Business, if stakeholders are not supportive of your business, for me, I always say it's very important to once again understand the reasons. What is the root cause for those stakeholders for them not being supportive? Because for many people, good ideas are supported. If you look at history and you look at today and you look at the businesses of today, yes, people fail in business and they learn from that. And part of learning is understanding what it is that is not working and what it is that is not enticing that type of support that you need. So, for example, I'll give you an example that is personal. So when I started Elegance Wellness Boutique, I started the first instance, or the first manner in which I decided to start it off was a very simple one, or could have been a very simple one. Putting out a range that is out there for women. But the question would be, what is the consumer need? There are many other entities that are global and that are local that have a very similar range. What is the unique selling proposition? What is it that would entice a stakeholder or an investor to participate in this business? Where are the financials? What is this? What does the future of this business look like? So those are the types of questions that one begins to ask themselves as they fail. So number one, I would say clarity of your objectives, clarity of the consumer needs, clarity of the meshing of your consumer needs with your idea, and very, very important, what Rashmi spoke about earlier. What in the long term, what are the gains? What are the gains? Because when you're in a business, it's about not only looking at growth, but you're looking at sustainable, profitable growth. And it's going to be very, very important for one, or for an entrepreneur, to show your key stakeholder what that looks like in terms of giving them a commercial argument. What does the commercial argument look like? What are the sales? What is the EBITDA that Rashmi spoke about? But most important for many businesses today, what is the impact that your business is going to have, not only financially, but from being from being a responsible citizen within the country or the area that you're in. So these are the various aspects. So as an entrepreneur, you also have a job to do in terms of convincing the stakeholder. So it's first about inward looking and then developing the commercial argument so that your likelihood in terms of success is much better.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Ella. Another question is from Shamila Ramjawan to Dr. Ella and Ma'am Rashmi. What's your advice to young entrepreneurs in terms of social media marketing? Ma'am Rashmi, can you please go first?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Shamila Ramjivan. I'm glad you're in the show and you're watching me, first of all. Thank you for your
Oh,
question. This is really very, very important because the future depends on youth. And to the young entrepreneurs, my advice with regards to social media marketing would be that social media is very, very strong platform. Um, Go for it. This is the first platform where it's free. Use it, but with care. There has to be productive results coming out of your social media marketing, and there should be a process how you are marketing, because marketing is something related to business. Then you should ideally have some consensus with the people around, because you're young, you need guidance. And Dr. Shamila, you yourself are a great entrepreneur, so you are definitely one of the guidance to people around you and across the world, I should say. So yeah, so there should be a process, there should be a monitoring for the young entrepreneurs, there should be a guidance. And I feel like Institute of Global Professionals is one of the places where people, where there are different subjects, and they should attend these kind of courses so that people come to know through their live examples. Because not we are not able to see each and every person, but this is a platform where you are exposed to the world. Where I'm sitting in Scotland, Dr. Ella from Africa. And so I get to know what the market is in Africa and what is happening in Scotland. So this gives you basically an exposure to the world. So using it wisely is really very important for your products, for your own personality, for whatever you're posting. So you really have to be very mindful mindfully using, and the seniors have to guide them definitely in the initial stages for them to take decisions, the right decisions, so that they achieve success. So this is my viewpoint. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Rashmi. And Dr. Ella, can you add, do you have something to add?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much to Dr. Shamila Ramjawan, who's also one of my mentors. When it comes to the marketing, social media marketing, it's very important for young entrepreneurs to understand that the social media marketing has really been elevated recently because of what the world has become. But it's also very important to use social media marketing, as as Rashmi has said, with intent, as part of a whole bouquet of digital marketing, used intentionally as part of the consumer acquisition journey. Because when it's used in isolation, it can actually be quite lost. And you'll find that some young entrepreneurs just not understanding the fact that you can use social media marketing for free. Some have invested and lost lots of rands, lots of money within social media marketing. Very, very important also to understand that when using digital marketing, social media marketing, very much important to have your objectives. You need to have good sight of what you want out of it. So it also involves making use of what we call, digital analytics. So your objectives must be clear. What is your intention in terms of the reach? How many people do you intend to reach in social media? Who are the people? Social media is very wide. Who are the people that you want to reach? So target audience is also very, very important. So you don't become fragmented and you don't become lost, and your resources are used well and not lost. Because now we know that social media is very, very, very advanced. You're able to say, I am brand X, and I'm looking for women who are 18 to 35, women who have so many such and such interests, and women who are more likely to be women that I can acquire, and women that I can acquire as my consumers, relevant consumers for my particular product. So very, very much important to be very intentional when using social media as young entrepreneurs, and ensuring that you are in positive spaces, because positive spaces also determine the kind of reputation that you build for your brand. So if you're in social media in negative spaces, just by association, the brand perception becomes negative as well. So very, very important to be very intentional when it comes to social media marketing.
Okay, so thank you so much for that very wonderful question, very timely, relevant question, getting practical and contextual answers from highly experienced entrepreneurs. Okay, another question is from Racheline Angelica Butak. To Ma'am Rashmi, what is the best we should do as students who's starting our small business? How can we make it big or to be known?
Very lovely questions. Thank you, Racheline, for this question. So I think we are no more, much different to each other, because I am a startup, and definitely I can address your question. So for the small businesses, what I would like to say to you is, networking. Networking is very important. You need to know people. You need to know your people, your kind of people. What is your interest? What is your passion? And again, what I say is like-mindedness comes again into picture. So if you are into a jewelry business, you need to know who are the buyers. It is the women first thing. So you have to segregate, you have to strategize, and I can very much correlate it with the previous question which had come up. It was about digital marketing. So digital marketing, or I should say social media marketing, is very important for you at this point of time. Whatever you do, try to show the positive aspects of it. Approach to your customers. If you have a page, it's wonderful. uh, and try to share it with your friends who are your well wishers. So you will have both kind of people in your life. Some would like your business to grow, some might not. So you have to identify the right people in this case. And networking, these are two very big things you need. These two things, networking will give you the crowd. In that crowd, you have to identify what is the next step, who can help you promote your business to a next level. Even if it is social media, if you want to reach out from one place to another, you need to know who is the person in your locality who knows people in another locality, who can take your business to that place. Again, if you want to grow more within the governmental organizations, so in that case, whom do you know in the government? How can you present it? What are the benefits of your product? So you need to keep it ready for your own market first. So with first you have to grow locally, and then you have to go regional, and then you have to go global. So this is what I am doing. And I would certainly recommend you to do the same thing, because I think I'm fairly getting connected to the right kind of audiences. However, I'm a social entrepreneur and I do mostly into community activities. So this is my suggestion or advice to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your advice, Mom Rashmi. Another question is from Paul Benti Uno. To all speakers, can you give us motivational quotes where you also applied that to your daily lives? Dr. Ella, can you go first?
Thank you so much for the question, Paul. Thank you very much. I think the quote that I presented earlier is one of the is a quote that I live by, because in life the reality is that in life is not always 100% smooth. So one has to always have some strong core, something in their core that will enable them to be grounded. Number one, number two, and enable them to rise up and to rise again and rise higher during difficult times. And the quote that I mentioned earlier was that the greatest glory in living is not in falling, but in rising every time we fall. I live by that.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Ella. Mom Rashmi?
Yeah, so because you know that I have been a beauty queen, so I have something with regards to that. So I feel like you are the queen of your own life. It is you who is going to choose how to use it, how to use your queendom, how to use your crown. So be kind and compassionate, and sky is the limit. So there's no foundation for you. Just go for it. Thank you.
Okay, so I think that was the last question for this webinar. So thank you so much to our guest speakers for answering those questions. I think every question was addressed comprehensively based on the experience, based on the practical experience of our speakers. Okay, so uh, thank you so much, both to our speakers and to our viewers. Okay, so to our participants, don't forget to collect your e-certificate from our website or by the link mentioned below after this session. So before we end, let me acknowledge my alluring, warm identities who was so patient and attentive throughout the session. Our dear viewers and participants, I am so much grateful for all of you in taking part of tonight's session. I am confident and positive that you had gained and learned something new tonight, which you can be utilized in your life or in your career or in your professional growth. My worthy viewers, I would now request you all to please leave a review of today's session and also recommend our page if you have learned something from us today. Also, may we request to those bountiful onlookers to spread the information to your friends and community about IGP. I repeat again, please do not forget to collect your e-certificate from our website by clicking the link below after this session. After collecting e-certificate, don't forget to celebrate with IGP by checking in. By your checking in, you can be able to understand our services, your attachment, and our pleasure. We hope to see you all again in the upcoming webinar. So, before we end, let us have this short narration. Do not let this pandemic hinder your success to grow. Never allow it to stop you from achieving your dreams in life. Instead, let us look at the positive side and think of how we can be able to adjust and adapt with the changes brought by this pandemic. Remember that it is through pandemic that we were not able to interact physically, but it is when we were able to learn how to utilize different learning platforms to connect and communicate to great people in the whole world by having webinars like this for free. There are many things to be thankful for. Thank you, everyone, and thank you so much, IGP. So, for the announcement, we have starting from October, we have webinar series program. You will get individual certificate for each webinar, and after submitting all certificates, you will receive a webinar series certificate. Okay? So it is highly focused on teaching strategies, research, assessment, pedagogy, tools and techniques, professional development, and communication skills. So our first webinar series program, which is composed of 5 parts webinar series, will be the first topic will be authentic assessment in teaching and learning. Part 1 will be on October 1, Part 2 will be on October 4, Part 3 will be on October 7, Part 4 will be on October 10, and Part 5 will be on October 26. Our second webinar series program is about teaching English as a foreign language and assessment. So part 1 will be on October 2, part 2 will be on October 6, part 3 will be on October 20, part 4 will be on October 24. That is a 4 parts webinar series. Our third webinar series program is composed of 5 parts, which has the topic about digital classroom engagement tools. Part 1 will be on October 11, Part 2 will be on October 12, Part 3 will be on October 13, Part 4 will be on October 14, Part 5 will be on October 15. And the diploma certificate, congratulations to everyone. It's a great journey, 1 year long. That's amazing. You set priority learning with IGP. We received huge application, but based on all activities, we awarded 708 participants with their 1 year international diploma on professional development and management. And I am one of them. Celebration time with your new achievement. Congratulations for the recipients of the diploma certificate. So to download your diploma certificate, click on any of the photos, click next with sidebar, then you have to find yours. If not, check next page. Every page we included is every page we included 80 certificates. Download from desktop or laptop. Right click on your certificate. Next, click download or save image. Or at the top right corner, there is a share icon. Click on it. Next, click download image. How to download from a mobile? At the top right corner, there is a share icon. Click on it. Next, click download image. You can download the diploma certificate at the link https //eduigp.com/diploma certificate image version slash. You have to download it from our website www.eduigp.com. Okay, so when you open our website, you can click diploma certificate pointed by the red arrow. Celebration time with IGP. And here is the certification process step by step. Okay, step one, on September 26th, which is the today's program, the value of enterprise and entrepreneurial education. Then step two, you have to click the link of the webinar. The link is there. Certification link now available in the comment box and pinned comment. Certification link will be available always in this program post, the Facebook page, Facebook group, and YouTube this on the description of our webinar. Okay, you can claim your certificate in two ways. One is to direct link from comment box, pinned comment, or post description. You can click the link posted there. Or if you are not able to click this link, please directly browse www.eduigp.com for all information together. Find today's program, then the process are the same. So what are you waiting for? You can now browse www.eduigp.com. For the step 3, you have to browse www.eduigp.com or the given link, and you will be redirected in our page of our website. So you can click enroll now. If you are new, then you have to create your account. If you have an account, then log in directly. After that, find the seminar or the webinar title and get enrolled. As shown on the screen. Okay, and I think this is what we are waiting for. The step 4. We have the code of of tonight's program is IGP 6688. You can take a screenshot, or you can, if you have your mobile, you can take a photo on the code, and you can be able to, so that you can be able to download your e-certificate. Always remember that without this code, no one is eligible for any certificate. So the code is IGP 6688. If you have your ball pen, you can write it down, and then you can visit our website later. Okay, with the code, click get your certificate. So this is the code that you're going to use, IGP6688. You have to use this code, and you have to key in this code on under the your certificate code, and then click get your certificate. And then your certificate is now ready. Something like this. Anyone can verify your certificate using the verification link located on the lower portion of the certificate. Okay, you can browse in your Chrome, and this certificate will come out. So every certificate is unique. Okay, so our free international webinar certificate is downloadable in PDF file. You don't need to download it manually. So check your device file manager. Sometimes it looks uncompleted, which is for your mobile screen size. In PDF file, everything is okay. If nothing is found in your file manager, please check your browser setting or update your browser or try with another browser or try it from a laptop or a desktop. You can join our all live programs from Facebook page, Facebook group, YouTube channel, and website. If anyone missed any program due to some unavoidable issues, still you can attend previous webinar with verified certificate. Dear participants, okay, so let us now skip to our next webinar on September 27, 2021, evening session. Our webinar is entitled English Literature and Psychology Role in Education. We have two speakers from Philippines. We have Aaron S. Malyare and his partner. On September 28, 2021, evening session, we have a webinar entitled Innovative Teaching Strategies Amidst Pandemic. Again, we have two speakers coming from the Philippines, Sir Raysan T. Dolohan and Jennifer J. Corsino. Another webinar on September 29, 2021 evening session is Communication Skills in Teaching and Learning Process. Speakers from Vietnam, India, and Greece. On September 30, 2021 evening session, we will have Healthy Living Equals Successful Living from speakers from United States, from the Philippines, and from India. On October 1, 2021, we have uh, Authentic Assessment in Teaching and Learning evening session. This is part 1 of the webinar series. Part 1 will be on October 1, and there will be another part. The next webinar will be on October 2, Teaching English as a Foreign Language and Assessment. This is part 1 out of 4. On October 3, 2021 morning session, we have Acing the New Normal Education. We have speakers from the Philippines. On October 3, 2021, Disaster Preparedness and Climate Change Adaptation evening session. We have speakers from the Philippines. Webinar on October 4, 2021 is all about authentic assessment in teaching and learning, part 2. And this will be also an evening session. The speakers from Indonesia and Bangladesh. On October 5, 2021, we have competency-based teaching. We have speakers from the Philippines and from India. On October 6, 2021, Teaching English as a Foreign Language and Assessment, Part 2. We have speakers from Indonesia. On October 7, 2021, Authentic Assessment in Teaching and Learning. And this is Part 3 out of 5. We have speakers from Indonesia and from India. On October 8, 2021, Strategies in Competent-Based Curriculum. We have speakers from the Philippines. On October 9, 2021, we have Implications of Theories of Reading to the Teaching of Reading. We have a speaker from the Philippines. On October 10, 2021, Bringing Character Education in Classroom. We have 2 speakers from the Philippines. On October 10, 2021, also, Authentic Assessment in Teaching and Learning Part 4, Evening Session. We have speakers from Indonesia. On October 11, 2021, Evening Session, we have Digital Classroom Engagement Tools with Ed Puzzle. We have a speaker from the Philippines. On October 12, 2021, Digital Classroom Engagement Tools with Kotobi, another speaker from the Philippines. On October 13, 2021, Digital Classroom Engagement Tools with Okay, so once again, we have the code for tonight's webinar. The code is IGP6688. Okay, so that concludes our webinar for tonight. Stay happy and stay safe. Once again, I am Mr. Rian Jun P. calling from Aklan, Philippines, and I am happy to be one of the hosts of the IGP. So thank you so much and stay safe.